Party all night is the best of the best friend weekend. We can party all night is the best of the best friend weekend. We can party all night. Shout out the whole podcast crew. Everybody already know what it do. When you really gotta kill it, ain't nobody gonna feel it. When you really gotta tell them it's my crew. It's best friend weekend. We can party all night. We got Rog Smuve and Los. Rumble Aldo NICE is the uncle.
Currently, the Black Lives Matter movement is stronger than it's ever been across racial lines, coast to coast, all over the nation. The push is very, very strong right now, as it should be. Long live George Floyd. But I wasn't born last night, nor the night before that. And with that, this just brings me to my next point. I'm seeing a lot of corporations, different companies, different industries. They're like really, caping, I'd call it, and just getting hard on the movement, ads, public statements. And I feel like they're just pretty much making a lot of bottom line decisions, you know what I'm saying? Like a year or so ago when the LGBT thing was just hot in the streets, they was making public statement, things of that nature. And I just think that they're just trying to be on the right side of history per se, you know what I'm saying? AKA showing a lot of fake love. And then when, we recant the events of 2020, they could have, save face and just be like, we was on the right side of history. And I just think it's kind of crazy that they're using a man's death kind of, just to try to, get some good pub out of it. But nevertheless, I'll take it any way I could get it, just getting a message out there. And, change will come. Might not be the day or the next day, but change will definitely come.
Or tonight or the next night. I say, whoa, welcome to the Best Friend Weekend Podcast. It's your man Aldo NICE.
It's your boy Rog Smuve.
It's your boy Los, a.k.a. C.A.P.
What do y'all think about Rumble's thoughts on people trying to cash in on the protest?
I mean, he not wrong when he right. I was on Netflix last night. Now they have a category called Strong Black Lead. And I was like, well.
Amazon Prime got the same type of deal going on. Watch this black content.
Yeah.
Let me say this, being in that industry, Netflix had that before George Floyd got murdered. So I just want to throw that out there.
I never saw it before.
No, but it wasn't the first thing that popped up when you go to the navigator window. Would it be though,
you know what? You know what? It was actually the first thing that popped up, but not this month.
Black History Month.
Yeah, Black History Month. It definitely was the first thing that popped up.
So they're just running back the Black History Month playbook.
Oh, okay.
For sure, yeah, I think so. I think we're just rerunning that. The way I feel about it is, we got a statement from my company in our email and some things that they was gonna do to help out diversity and whatnot and to help out the black community. And the only thing is, I gotta give companies the benefit of the doubt, before I start to come for their neck. So I gotta at least give them a chance to try to prove that what they're doing is the right thing before I say, oh, this is what y'all doing. So I guess in essence, what I'm saying is I'm not necessarily on board as quick with Rumble on this one, because if a company starts to build a reputation and it's real, then I don't want to be wrong.
I think it's just good business. At the end of the day, they just doing good business, trying to keep, they ain't want to be the people that's not doing that. So it's going, for me, I'll be wrong now. I'll be right now, and then make me wrong later on. Like continue years from now. I want to continue to see that. Don't just do it right now and then that's it.
Nothing is wrong, in my opinion, with trying to be on the right side of history, like Rumble. The phrase Rumble used, that some people just want to be on the right side of history. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be on the right side of history. So I agree in that aspect. I disagree with him there, but I agree with that sentiment. I kind of was lost on what you were saying just now, Raj, in regards to what you actually mean by that. Like, if a company's out here saying, or just like Black Lives Matter now, and a company's posting it, you're saying that you are apt to believe them and give them the benefit of the doubt, or are you saying that you want to see the work that they do? I was kind of confused on where you were going with that one.
I mean, just a combination of both of those things. So yeah, I mean, if that's how you feel, like if you had a change of heart, then I think we all agree that we want to see it move forward. But I also don't know enough about certain companies to like, so if there's a company that has built a reputation already on, on the wrong foot with the black community, and then all of a sudden now, since things are like in uproar,
that part,
we like I like, if I know, like if I know that's a thing, then
like if the Klan
like,
came out with a statement that said, well, you know, the Ku Klux Klan says Black Lives Matter. Like, are you going to give them boys
kente claw?
Right, and we're gonna talk. I know we're gonna talk about all of that, but I mean, it's just interesting. The person that I thought about, and I was gonna talk about it later in the podcast, but I can bring it up here. I saw yesterday. I just so happened to be flipping in the morning, and I saw Ryan Clark talking about Jerry Jones, and his actual quote was just like he was like, I don't expect Jerry Jones to come out and say Black Lives Matter or say his players can kneel or stand with the players. He said, if there's one thing I know about Jerry Jones is that everybody says he's an honest man, and he is gonna say what he feel. And he when he said, y'all, nobody on my team last year could kneel or I'm gonna fire you. That's how that man felt. Like that. Yeah. That's that man. That is how he felt. And like Ryan Clark was kind of the mindset, which I think I agree with, is that I don't really think a leopard changes spots that often. Like, especially when you dug in your ways and you're an entity like that. And I hate to say it, it's kind of like last week we were defending the Saints and we got real emotional about, that's our team, and you know what I mean? And we felt like we had to defend the Saints because the quarterback said something. Well, the quarterback's not necessarily, I mean, he's like we talked about, he's the face of the franchise, quote unquote, but he isn't the franchise, right? The owner is more aligned with the franchise ideals, the Patriot way, so to speak, if we're talking about the Patriots, or the Cowboy way with the Cowboys. I feel like that's ingrained in like kind of the Dallas Cowboys, who they are. Mm-hmm. So if they were to come out with something that's saying Black Lives Matter and did it, I would feel it. I'd feel like them boys is just doing some stuff because because I know, like, I feel like Jerry Jones has a track record of not rocking with it. So I think that certain people can kind of come over, but I think it's easier to come over if you've never said anything. But if you've been in the affirmative on the other direction, it's harder for me to take you serious. Like,
right. I personally love the way you said it. That is harder because I do think that like myself and in my Uncle Smooth's cabin last week, I was of the mindset that it was disrespect for the flag at one point in time, and I didn't see the big picture. Like I really didn't. And I'm owning that. And I think if someone comes out and like proves, to the black community that they're like serious about, like I messed up, like I'm tripping. I think that could happen for me. Maybe even with Jerry Jones. I don't know what happened with Jerry Jones before that. I haven't taken enough time to like really look into his like full track record. But if all it is just that he didn't want players kneeling, I might be able to forgive him for that.
I mean,
the protest was the players kneeling. It had nothing to do with the flag. And I mean, I
understand.
No, I'm just saying I don't understand any other way people can explain it. So it's never just not about the players kneeling. If they're protesting for something that you have, the majority of your team is black, and they're protesting something that's happened to them in their communities, their friends, their brothers, sisters. Can happen to them or their sons. Like you. How can if you really down for the cause, you can't you have to see that and not go against them and threaten to fire them because they want their neighborhood where they come from to get better.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard, like the NFL is pro sports in general, but NFL more specifically, it's hard to think of another entity in the world that you pay people a bunch of money so you feel like they should be able to tolerate anything. But where it's really almost entirely white men, old white men, who run each one of those organizations. And it's a bunch of young black men who like get out here and go do what you do, go make me some money. And I'm not going to care about any of your issues. And I'm unabashed about that. So we use Jerry Jones as an example, but I say that to say this. Last week in our defense, we were talking about Gail Benson from the Saints, how she came up with that coalition of New Orleans-based athletes to look up for like racial injustice. I mean, she might not have came up with that herself, but she okayed it and she allowed that to be under the Saints banner. And it's tough. We saw this after we dropped the podcast last week when all of the NFL players, led by Mike Thomas, got out there and did the commercial like, we the NFL, like they was like, this is what we want the league to say. We the NFL think that Black Lives Matter. We think this and that. And it got Goodell to actually say something, but in the big scheme of things, that's a great example as well. Like the NFL is an entity that blackballed Colin Kaepernick, that wasn't interested in Black Lives Matter, that wasn't interested in the protest. And then when Roger Goodell came out and said it this week, I feel like a lot of people were quick to be like, okay, look, the NFL changing. But then a lot of other people were like, nah, man, you don't get to just come over to this side that quick. So yeah, it's a bunch of different schools of thought, Roger. And I think
you're put the work in,
right.
Man.
Yeah,
you got to put the work in.
Acts of service, right?
Yeah.
We got to see what you actually do before we go ahead on and give you the ultimate pass and them type of thing.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take in, and I think that we're going to talk a little bit more about some of these nuanced stories. Raj obviously was out here, and one time was out here in Houston, so we had an opportunity to talk about a couple of things. So we got a little bit more content for you to talk about things that's just maybe not the straightforward things, but things associated with what's happening right now. So let me just start with how we always start. Let me let y'all know what burned my boot at this week. Man, the first thing that burned my boot at this week is the shooting animation on NBA 2K, because I just don't get it, dog. I don't get it. My men wide open in the corner. We pulling jumpers.
He's supposed to make that.
Supposed to make that.
In the spirit of winning, I just want to say thank you to the other members of Best Friend Weekend for allowing me to come to Houston and put them dogs on them in that 2K.
We just didn't want you to feel
I used to always aggravate my friends and saying, if we had if there was like a worldwide like play for your life 2K tournament, and from every household you had to send one person, I think the Best Friend Weekend podcast would send me. So
as of today, give us some time to practice. I don't think the same thing, but I do have an actual real statement that Los is not aware of. Raj did beat me. I think 4 out of 5 games we played. It was pretty dominant. But there was only one game where one person quit down 30 in the third quarter. So that's all I'm going to say.
Ooh.
Only one person dropped the sticks and said, "I quit." That's all I'm going to say.
Boy quit?
That's all. I'm going to leave it at that. And he got most of his wins with the same player, and it was very tough for me to stop him. The same person who gave you that work.
So I love it. I love it because I want to tell a story too. Because here's Al sitting down on the sofa saying, "You're not about to just dunk on my head. I'm not Los." And I continuously dunked on that man's head. Which he said,
"Let's stop.
I thought I wasn't Los."
I did say that, but I was clown. He scored 25 in the first damn quarter and some change with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Just dunking. Right after I said I wasn't going to allow it. But then, I switched up. I got my 2-3 zone going. That didn't happen again. It just was, it was very tough to stop him. He still got his. Yeah. He still got his. But I hate the shooting animation on 2K. I just thought everybody should know that. Challenge me in a game that I can play like that Madden or something. That 2K is not my obviously not my forte. Another thing that burns my boot at this week, and I think Raj, you spoke to this even more than me. White folks being at the front of the protests, man. Raj, I'm gonna give it to you, man. I'm gonna give it to you for this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I think we all want to hear and see black voices when it comes to this protest, and we all want to do quote unquote black things, Black people might not be prone to spray paint on the Starbucks. That was one of my examples. I saw a meme, or not a meme. I saw a video of some black girls confronting some white protesters that was like, we never asked y'all to do that. Like, don't do that. And then, what the straw that broke the camel's back for me in the protest was, I saw a demonstration, and it was through TikTok of a bunch of cops and a bunch of protesters kneeling together. Mm-hmm. And then immediately after, a whole bunch of people from the protester side went to shake cops' hands, and it was like 90% white people. And I'm just like, that's not really what I want to see. I think that's not really how we see the world heal, if this is what that is. We don't need to see that. Let me see a bunch of cops, white or black, hugging a bunch of black people, because we the ones that's hurt.
I think I can agree, but I think looking at a bunch of things on TV, it's become abundantly clear that I don't know what I don't know what everybody's motive is. You can't ever know, right? Yeah. You can't ever purport to know what other people's motives are. But I would just say that I see a lot of white folks. Like the people getting abused by cops, getting pushed down, busting their head open. A lot of times it's white folks. So white folks is out there big because they don't once again, don't want to be on the wrong side of history with this. They see it as a moment. They see this as an opportunity to be out there. I think what Roger and, kind of even more of the conversation me and him were having was like, it's just why do the camera crews have to focus in on like the white people at the protests? I think that's interesting. Maybe it tells a better story that we're unified when you see white people out there protesting saying Black Lives Matter or something like that. But I agree that I would like to kind of sometimes hear, the little black voice up front. But maybe.
It's about time they get to see, how it feel when you talk crazy to the police. A lot of white folk being technicized in them laws, like they used to getting them traffic tickets and asking, "What the fuck you stop me for?" You know what I mean? You can't do that out there. Them boys are ready to train to go out there. Some of them boys National Guard. You know what I mean? So listen, if you guys, some of y'all got to take a couple ahead. Some of y'all got to take a couple across the head for y'all to understand. I'm cool with it, man. Just as long as y'all continue to understand that we've been going through this for years. You know what I mean? So, hey, keep talking crazy to them people if you want to.
I saw a hilarious picture of all these youngsters on GTA, on Grand Theft Auto, at the police station with their fist up, like the little avatars. And it was like 80 users just standing at the police station with their hand up. I was like, okay. I like that type of thing. That makes me happy.
A bunch of 11 and 7-year-old white boys. Too.
Exactly. All at the police station saying because it's trendy.
I don't know if y'all heard some of these protest jokes that was coming out. I heard one and it said, "Why do protest cops wake up early?" Did you hear that one?
No,
I haven't heard
to beat the crowds.
Okay, that's not funny. I didn't mean to laugh out loud. I didn't laugh out loud. That wasn't me.
Yes, you did.
I'll edit that out. That was clever. It was clever. It was clever. Stupid. I'm sorry. I'm not doing that.
You're gonna edit your laugh out or the joke out?
The laugh. That never happened.
Bro, don't just give me silence.
Crickets? I'm for the crickets.
At least give me sound effects, laughs or something.
Then the laugh track.
Send it to me post production, and I'll put the laugh track in.
You put the laugh track in? We'll see what's Hey man, the last thing that burned my Boudin this week is it doesn't actually burn my Boudin, but it's a slippery slope. The exposed racism post. Like when somebody does something like the guy who was kneeling and faking like he was kneeling on George Floyd and then in front of the Black Lives Matter protesting, and then within like a day there was a bunch of posts online with this is where he worked, this is name, this is Facebook, this is job, this is boss number, fire him up, and he
got fired too.
Yeah, and they get fired. Okay, so my question is, I think it doesn't burn my Boudin, but it's a slippery slope. Like, I'm okay. I love the concept of if you're going to do some shit like that. Like literally, if you're going to do that. If you're going to pretend like you're kneeling on George Floyd and killing him. It's so inhumane to even think that that's a cool thing to do, a funny thing to do, anything to do to get your point across. I think it's too soon, whatever. Like, and it's never going to be the right time for it. It's like basically somebody saying like, O.J. Simpson, and you over there. Well, not to say that O.J. killed them people. Okay, maybe if O.J. Simpson killed them people.
We know he did.
But like, if you was over there playing like you're stabbing a woman a bunch of times, like whatever, like that's not funny. That's never gonna be funny. That's never gonna be like cool to do. But my question is, shouldn't they have the freedom to do it without getting fired for their job? And I don't have an answer yet. I want to hear y'all answers.
No, man. No. I'm happy he got fired. Bye.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing. And a big reason of that is because some things surrounded around this whole thing. Some of my peers have been fired. For so much of the same. So it makes me feel like it's the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever like I'm directly involved with a company that fires people for doing as such, It makes me feel like it's the right thing to do, and it kind of justifies it for me. Maybe I would be closer to you if that hadn't happened to me so recently, or happened to people close to me recently.
I don't want you to think that I'm just completely saying don't fire him. I really want to.
I know.
He's just saying he got the right to do whatever he want to do because it's outside of work.
Well, I mean, and even okay. So this was a talk we were having here yesterday about the officer who pushed down the young white girl in New York City, and he got charged with misdemeanor assault, and I think he got fired, right? And it was like the first New York police officer to get prosecuted during the protest, right? And they showed a video, and he pushed the shit out of her. He pushed her hard, very, very, very hard. And he got fired, and he got charged. And the conversation was like, should he have got fired? I mean, he pushed somebody down in the street, and should he have got charged? And I was like, yeah, he should have got charged. Because I think everybody in their job, like I think if somebody found out Los pushed down somebody at the gig, or Raj pushed down somebody at the gig, you might not get fired. But if there's a video of you pushing down somebody super hard, and then all of a sudden it gets attached to like, oh, Los who works at this place, Raj who works at this place, Al who works at this place, and it gets to your supervisor and it gets on national news, you're gonna get fired. Like I think that's a part of it, right? And I think
just protecting the brand.
So my thing is, and this is me playing the devil's advocate, right? You know, what if during the height of like the LGBT movement a few years ago, when we were like, man, LGBT is like everywhere with everything, if they'd have been like, oh, I heard them boys on the podcast, one of them used the word he shouldn't have used, and his name is C.A.P, aka Los, and he work at this place, and help me repost it, and then it gets to your boss and your boss's boss and your boss's boss, and then next thing you know, they're trying to fire you about it. That's. I mean,
but that's real. Like that's real life. I think that we've definitely in the history of our podcast had some things that probably have found ourselves in that position before, but just kind of never really got caught. And hopefully
we're not famous enough yet. But I think our podcast popularity has grown with our maturity and how we're using our platform.
And that was my next point. I would hope that whoever would be making those decisions would listen to us now and how much we have grown. And how much we have listened to our feedback and taken some advice from our listeners and whatnot, So yeah,
So going back then, what if somebody say, "Oh, boy was calling people niggas on his Twitter 20 years ago," and we still want to, I don't know. Go ahead, Los.
I think with listening and stuff like that, I think it's a little different, especially depending on, like you said, popularity, who the person is. Now, if it got I guess if it has to go, it just couldn't get to our supervisor. It had to get some extra traction, like some news for it. If it just stays in, you know what I'm saying, to go viral. Now we went viral saying that kind of stuff. Then it'll be a problem, you know what I mean? But just somebody catch their podcast and listen to it, they be like, hey, they might call you in HR and be like, hey, you got to chill out with that. But
depending on how valuable you are,
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
That's a big part of it too. If you valuable, they're gonna be, hey, bro, come on.
Hey, man, look here. Cap. Number one, go back and erase that. Erase that whole episode.
Come on, Cap.
Erase that episode. But
have we not taught you anything, Cap?
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that.
So to come full circle, I would say it burns my boudin because of the potential, but I love the idea of it, man. If you do some real racist stuff, which is like somebody should call you, and they've been doing it. It's not like this is a new phenomenon. People have always like.
It's getting quicker and quicker too. I think somebody worked at the CIA. How they finding people so fast?
It be people from their own little town, because I saw like the first little thing with the dude kneeling. It was like, his name is so and so, so and so. It's either so and so or so and so. That's so and so's son, and he been racist, and they family been racist. I'm from that city. That's how. That's how I like.
Pay that little $11.99, get all your information.
No, it was just like a chick from the city saw it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm saying once the name get out there, somebody paid that $11.99 can get all your information.
Nah, you stupid.
Where you stay, where you work at.
No, man, that's all you gotta do is go to your Facebook, Los.
Oh yeah. I'll be on phone book. I don't have all my stuff on Facebook, so I don't think like that.
Okay, so let me just say this, and I think Roger's gonna agree. It don't cost $11.99 to find out where you live, where you work, what's your number. It is a free. I have a specific set of skills, like Liam Nielsen. It costs nothing to get all of your information. Raj, do you agree?
Okay, I didn't know that.
I mean, and here's the thing. Like, let's say if you are pretty careful about protecting who you are, I can still find out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think, but even if you're not like, you could go look at a property search in the city to see what property people own, and like there's a lot of ways to find out.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say this, just in the spirit of that, I paid $2.99 a month for Mr. Number, like so that I can know what number is calling me. Like I do that kind of stuff. So yeah, if I need to know something about somebody, I'll pay.
You should be a private man. Your child, both of y'all should be private eyes. Y'all in the wrong business.
Hey man, shout out! This podcast brought to you by the Harry, the #1 private eye in America. That boy Google you quick. That boy Google you quick. He'll find out everything you want to know. But Los, you said something just now, man. I want to hop into this story real quick. The kente cloth, man. These kente cloth scarves were given out to Democratic congressmen and women by the Congressional Black Caucus. The Senate Democrats knelt in the Capitol's Emancipation Hall for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in honor of George Floyd, while inexplicably donning African kente cloths, even though Floyd is American. The documents the Democrats want sweeping legislation to reform the police in America, to make it easier to prosecute officers for misconduct, ban chokeholds, and address racism. You know, taking a knee, doing all of that. Okay, so let me ask y'all the first question I got. When you think kente cloth, do you think black or African? Like, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
African.
That's that for you? That's what you think?
Yeah.
I think black, to be honest with you, because Black History Month, there's always like, I feel like I wore kente cloth during Black History Month at St. Edward's. So, I don't know. I kind of think black.
I think I agree with Raj. I feel like kente cloth is a thing for like, it might be for one tribe in Ghana somewhere. Like there's probably a place where kente cloth comes from. But I bet every tribe in Africa and every country on that continent is not rocking kente cloth. So
they got their own variations, I guess.
I think more like you know how Mo and them be wearing like them long garbs that's not necessarily kente cloth, but like you know what I'm talking about, like
like little robe.
It might be
things?
a solid the robe things. I think that more like your boy Soldier Boy on 90 Day Fiance. I've been watching that too much. But before the 90 days. But yeah, man. You like that's what I think. Those African garb. I think of that. Like I don't think kente cloth. I think.
I just thought we wore it just because we came from. I mean, at church I used to wear it during Black History Month.
That part, I feel like it's black people at church.
That's exactly why.
Yeah, my daddy had a tie. Mama said, "You want your dad to get that cloth tie?" I'm like, no, I don't want that. But I think
if you go to your people house,
had double cups of
lean. Your daddy with a suit with a kente cloth tie and
the pocket square.
Yeah,
and he had the hat. And he had a hat.
The hat.
I mean, that's straight from Africa. I always thought African. I never thought like that's black folk. I just like, we just paying homage to people we came from. You know, I just thought it was African stuff.
I just feel like when you go there, like if we were to take if we had best friend weekend Africa, we wouldn't see kente clothes.
We're wearing dashikis.
Come on, man.
Why can't we do best friend weekend Africa? Come on, bro.
You can't just say Africa, like we be like in particular cities in the United States in this country.
It's more than one weekend.
You going to the entire country?
BFW Legos. That's what y'all doing.
But I think what the Democrats should have done, what they should have done to honor George Floyd. They should have had double cups, lean, and extra hats.
Hey, man.
I think that would have been perfect.
Y'all saw any parts of the funeral? George Floyd a hood nigga, man.
Yeah, he thumped that tray, boy.
Whew. George Floyd had some hood people. It was a hood Houston wedding.
I'm not going to lie. I probably shouldn't say this, but I just, for some reason, feel like George Floyd had a wife beat on in that casket. Like, that's just, I didn't see it in the casket, but that's just how I felt.
I guarantee you did. Nah, they got him dressed right, but
I know they had him dressed right, Los. Come on,
but he had
the views
from Rog Smuve.
Hey,
I feel like he had a
with a cigarette.
Stop it! I need both of y'all to stop. It's too soon. I like at the funeral. I saw like Al Sharpton up there, like ushering people to their seats, and I was looking at him like, damn, Al Sharpton is a for real minister. Like he got the right facial expression, he got the right temperament. That man did a funeral or two. Yeah. I mean, that boy was up there like master of ceremonies. To wrap up the kente cloth thing, I'm just gonna say this: that I think that it depends on the outfit. If you saw like a X on a shirt in kente cloth, Los, or like a kente cloth fitted cap, with, you're not thinking black people. I'm thinking like 90s era black, dog. I'm thinking different world when I see that.
Yeah, but I mean, it still was about. It's still from Africa though. Still thinking African. We just rocking it and made it.
I feel like the Martin logo had a little bit of kente cloth in it.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. But I'm saying this. It's
but
still
I get your point though.
Still Africans, man.
Yeah, it was like it's very early 90s, late 80s, black American, I think. I mean, African. Like for instance, let me give y'all another something that I know. Kwanzaa. When y'all think Kwanzaa, do y'all think Africa or do y'all think you're America?
Africans.
The holiday.
Africans.
Well, I think black for sure.
Okay. Africans who don't celebrate Christmas.
So the thing about it is, Kwanzaa was founded by Ron Karenga in like 1973 in Los Angeles, I think, or somewhere in Cali. Like, he's a black dude from the United States came up with Kwanzaa. No,
his name was
Karenga. I mean,
they change their name when they come out. They change their name when they come across their water.
I don't need you to do what you're doing right now, dog.
I'm just saying they do. they do change their name.
I don't need you to to do that. I don't need you to do that. Stop it. Ron Karenga was born. Ronald McKinley Everett was his name when he was born in Parisburg, Maryland. That dude is black. Okay.
Okay. I was wrong.
All right. And he came up with Kwanzaa. He was the creator of Kwanzaa, what did it say? In the 60s and 70s as part of the Black Power movement. So all of that to say, certain things we look at it like, oh man, that's some African stuff, and you really don't know the roots. Now I know kente cloth is rooted in Africa, but still, I feel like Americans that co-opted that thing. And I mean, just a history lesson from your favorite teacher, Aldo NICE. Another thing that your second favorite teacher. The second favorite teacher. I give it to you, Los. So another thing that people have been talking about this week is the idea of defund the police.
Yeah.
Before y'all give thoughts on it,
go ahead.
I want to know if y'all think y'all have a good idea of what people mean when they say it.
I don't.
Okay. Los.
When you say defund, I'm thinking, no, I don't know everything they're talking about. No, I don't.
So people always, the thing is, what I saw a lot of people was like, look up the word defund. Look out what defund means. Defund means take away the funding, right? Take away the funding. So I read an article that said basically defunding the police does not mean eliminate all police funding. What it means is police will be funded, but not overfunded. There's going to be redistribution of the city budget and everyone's going to get a fair share because police should focus on crimes and criminals and are not mental health professionals, counselors, social workers, medical professionals, education specialists, and they shouldn't be responsible for everything. It should emphasize reassessing our values, investing in communities and people, funding our schools, hospitals, services, and infrastructures. So if that is the reason, and I mean, I think that there's much variation in what people think this means because of the hashtag. The hashtag defund the police is kind of like, it can mean a lot of things. If it means what I just said, I have absolutely no problem with that because it makes a bunch of sense. Like, my dad and my mom and them was outside one day. A dude got shot across the street. White boy got shot across the street from their house by the police. Because he came outside with like maybe a knife or something, like, because he was mentally unstable and he was beefing with like his grandmother or his daddy or something. And the police shot him, like right on my mom and them street. Those are them situations where they have certain cities who have task force that instead of the police being called for situations like that, a mental health professional will come out. And like the person, it often never ends in death. Like it's always like, okay, I know how to handle this situation. Let me talk to you. As opposed to a lot of these things. But these are just thoughts, bigger thoughts.
But if I look at it, if you defund the police or don't give them as much funding, those mental health, because in most cities, most smaller cities, I'm thinking in because you have a certain population, you get those type of perks, when you're able to have those type of people. But some cities are underfunded as it is. So if you don't give them as much funding as you were, and I guess hashtag defund them, it's gonna get worse because they can't. If it's being overfunded. They're overfunded, they can't handle it. So who to say they're going to handle it when you just pay them exactly what they need and that's it?
I mean, I don't know. Does that mean that the idea is that we got to rethink everything, right? That we're not just the first call isn't always to the police. The first call isn't always to 911 with something, because I do know that people have mental issues and they get killed by the police all the time. That is a thing.
Yes.
But I mean, I've heard other schools have thought about, man, every school got a police officer, but every school don't have a counselor that's like a trained counselor. You know what I mean? Now, like those kind of things is like when you over police everything and the police officer has to do other things that they're not trained to do. It's like, it's too much. Like teachers fuss about this all the time. I'm not trained to be this. I'm not supposed to do this and this and this for these kids. Think about it. If the teachers could just teach and we say, listen, we're going to not give as much money in the education. We're going to do it to other things. So now we can have other people at the school to just do discipline. Then you'd be like, oh shit, all I got to do is teach. Like, and I feel like police would be like, oh, all I got to do is police. I don't know. Raj, you said you have a relationship with a lot of people who are like in the police department and other things. Like, what do you think about the concept as a bigger thing and just kind of the ideas we're talking about now?
So, I mean, I think it's, like it's like super radical and like super, like it would just take so long to change the mindset and the duties of what police officers have been doing for so long, even the good ones. I just question, like, so we defund, right? Like we defund, and then like what does that mean what does that really mean? Like I don't I mean, police officers would still need to get paid, right? So like that's the career that they chose.
You don't have as many police officers.
Okay, maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, keep them at the same wage, but say we're just not gonna have that many. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's an idea. I'm just I just was thinking. I mean, you would have to. This would be something. I read that Minnesota is not only thinking about defunding but disbanding. Like, and I just kind of want to, I'd like to maybe read a little bit more about it before I actually formulate, an opinion on it, because it's so radical that I just can't come up with something off the top of my head right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I've seen stories that kind of trace this all the way back to like, look at the advent of what policing was made for. Like policing as a whole was something that came about after slavery was over, right? And then you needed police to make sure that black people, like ex-slaves, were in line.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a real thing, because there's a lot of countries all over the earth that got police. So I don't know if it's just made for that, but maybe the American police system, like the way that we do policing and the whole judicial branch of our government is maybe run on racist ideals that have the police doing way too many things, or their role is outdated. And I mean, it's some serious reform that needs to look at. You
think the Reformation part, I'm all for it.
The police role is outdated.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm just saying, Los. I'm not. I don't know the answer to it, right? I'm just asking. Like, Roger's using a very dope word. It's radical. It's a radical ass idea. I don't know the answer, but go ahead, Los. It seems like you saying that we need them cops or them boys.
I mean, I think at some point you do need. I think at some point you do need police. I think better training in different situations is better than that. I think training in better situations, having police where they're from. Having beat cops like they used to. Remember they used to have cops walking up and down the streets and stuff like that, getting to know the people in the neighborhood. I think that'll help as well.
Community policing type thing.
Yeah, so you know that's run the son right there, little Pookie. You know what I mean? So Pookie ain't necessarily, he might be loud and screaming and hollering, but Pookie ain't about to do nothing. You know what I mean? I think understanding, and like Trent, like Officer Friendly said something that was very key. You gotta learn how to talk to people and have a conversation. You know what I mean? I think training people to do that more, and I think the problem is that you got police, police in the areas, they're scared of the people in those areas. Whether he got a badge, gun, chopper, backup, he is scared and terrified. You know what I mean? So, instead of sitting there having a conversation, I mean, just because a man is loud doesn't mean he's threatening.
Let me take this back, right? Okay, so policemen, and this is me thinking in real time. I'm just working this out in real time. So policemen get called to situations like these people protesting, and we need to make sure we standing up and making sure it's simple. But on a usual basis, police get called out because that boy got that gun and they shooting and it's a high speed chase and they got to come to it, blah, 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 whatever. I don't think that's a fact. I think that happens once a week, maybe, to the police, where they're coming out to that, right? I feel like way more often cops are going to like, they beefing at the house and my girl called the police on me because I was whatever. Or them boys was blowing that weed next to the house or whatever. Or they had a car wreck and some people wilding or traffic stop. It's a lot of things, right? So think about those instances, right? Do you need a person who's trained to necessarily like would a police officer who's like, man, like I want to do the policing part where I'm like law and order, wouldn't they really even feel like I'd rather just a relationship counselor go over there who's trained to go like, excuse me, sir and ma'am. But if we're defunding the police and having another branch of like, let's say, quote unquote, it can still be called the police. But they just not going out there with a gun. They going out there like this. This is our mental health department.
Let's sit down and talk this out real quick.
Maybe they specialize different positions within the police department, you know.
Yeah, maybe they still all have a gun.
You have a treasurer and a this and a that and a COO and a CEO and all of those.
I agree.
Or if a police officer goes on if he goes on a domestic, you get a domestic violence call, you take the counselor with you. You know what I mean?
Or you have the domestic counselor cop, like Raj just said, like they're part of the domestic counselor division of the police. Yeah, where we thinking about it in a sense that they all got specialties. Where it's like, I'm not just here. Like we're not all just getting trained 90% of the time for offensive tactics to shoot center mass, and we gotta learn how to shoot it. We gotta learn how to do push-ups and eat donuts. Like this is officer friendly talk. Go watch the episode.
That was funny.
This is a carry on of a joke, but yeah, like I think that there's ways that we can slowly start changing things to where the like I said, the bulk of the reason police usually come out is for dumb stuff, probably, and then some of that dumb, like the little boy Jordan Edwards, maybe, who got killed in Dallas, it was because it was a loud party. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, we thought we heard gunshots. And then they just start busting in the back of the car and killed that little boy. Yeah. Like if somebody's over, if you send the break up the party police, like shit, instead of the wild cowboys at high noon police.
Hey, you boy walking there, hey, ho, hey, all right guys, hey, this thing jumping, man. Hey, come here, bro, I'm gonna need you to cut that thing down just a little bit, and y'all blocking in the people driveway down the street. I need whoever drive that 96 Buick with the paper tags on it to move right now. All right. Give me one of them drinks over there. What y'all? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think them little kids gonna start busting at them. I think they're gonna listen to the police because they don't want to go to jail.
Just go come in there like your uncle, like, hey, this thing jumping, boy. Who out this here? Ooh, that crawfish.
Exactly. I don't
play it over there.
I don't want to make this seem too simplistic.
We just overthunk the hell out of that.
But that's the kind of thinking that needs to take place.
Yeah, I agree.
They didn't even think about that.
I agree. That's funny. This is funny. It's just funny. All this stuff is just.
Police academy. You going to police academy? Okay. Which branch you want to be in? The house party branch?
Yeah, I'm the house party branch.
the domestic abuse branch.
House party all day.
Did them boys blowing that weed branch?
Yeah. Hey man. Damn, that's loud, boy. How much y'all got? Come on, man. You good? Give me. Put that down. You just 2 grams over. All right. Just put 2 grams over on the thing.
That's funny. He got to go over there with the intimate knowledge of that dope. Or that YOLO.
What that is? That's a Schedule 3, brother.
That look like an 8th, brother. Y'all not y'all smoking that Reggie.
Yeah, you good.
Y'all about to go to jail for that Reggie.
Nah, throw that in the trash, man. Go on, about to throw it in the trash. Go. If you go up the street right there, the third house on the right, Reggie got that gas, but don't buy nothing. Just buy me 3s.
I think within the conversation nationally, I think that's one of the things that should be nationally decriminalized. Like I think we need to look at not only that the actions, but looking at crime and like what is actually a crime in this day and age. Because like you talked about it in a little bit earlier, it's outdated. I think we're in a different era now that we probably do need to revisit some of those things.
The only people need police them boys in Chicago.
The boys in Chicago been busting guns like it's crazy, man. Speaking of your favorite Chicago person, man, okay. Let's just throw this out there, Los. Raj. I read this. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read it verbatim. Don't kill the messenger.
Killing him.
It says, Kanye has given a huge assist to the families and legal teams fighting for Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd, and helping in other ways too. The rapper donated $2 million so far to the cause, and he set up a 529 college saving fund to fully cover the tuition of Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Gianna. Mm-hmm. He also made a separate donation to cover the legal costs for Arbery and Taylor families. Along with that, Kanye is donating to several black-owned businesses in his hometown of Chicago and nationwide to have that have been in crisis and impacted by the unrest in the United States. Someone said they looked him up, and he actually never donated anything to Trump's campaign, but he donated to Hillary's campaign in 2016, and that one of his, rap partners, GLC, claims that the only reason Trump wear a MAGA hat to begin with was to get people out of jail. They say he went into that meeting with Trump, and Trump said, if you don't wear this hat, then I'm not rocking with you. And he put it on to get those people out of jail that Kim K has been getting out. Okay, that is a lie. And it came out, and it's like, it's less than 24 hours old, this story. Is this shit even possible? Like, it's so tiring to even read it. Like, is it possible that this is a thing, that Kanye is a double agent for black people? That
sounds like a Kim Kardashian episode right there, boy. Hold on, we'll be starting. We gotta start somewhere with this. I don't. Wearing the MAGA hat, that's a lie. That's not true. I don't think that's true. What if you entertain it?
Like, I'm just saying, like, what if you entertain the idea that it's crazy. It's crazy, but Kanye's a crazy person. Like, Kanye is, if anyone were to do something like that, who would it be? Not Kanye, but I don't know. Maybe Kanye.
Maybe it is Kanye. I just don't. It'll be the greatest troll of all time.
Yes, you're killing 6ix9ine. So you walk, your wife go in there and say, "Hey, yeah, President Trump, I want to get these people out of jail." He says in turn, in real time, "Okay, cool. Tell your Kanye, come up here and meet with me with a.
I need a black face saying "Make America Great"
with a MAGA hat on."
Because he wasn't with. Sure. Was he with him before the election, or was he with him after the election?
That was after, yeah.
So, is it possible that he was like, look, I'm the only person he could... I always thought it was like a vanity thing. That Kanye was like, oh, the president want to talk to me? I don't care if y'all... Like, I could actually get stuff done if I could get it in his ear. And he allowed himself to be like, Donald Trump... And I think he just said too much stupid stuff, like aligning himself with Trump. But if he'd have just kept it at... The president wants my opinion, and if I don't go, who gonna speak up for black people? So I'm going.
Well, he wore the hat though. That's
he wore the hat. Wearing the hat.
But I will say this though. Let me tell you, as somewhat of a minor fashion aficionado, I also know that art can be expressed in a bunch of different ways, and Kanye is like probably my favorite. Like, when Kanye designs something, like I always give it a chance. I don't always like it, but I always give it a chance because I just like the way his mind works. And I just think maybe Kanye might have found it as a piece of art rather than like I'm wearing it for the message. He
wore a Confederate flag jacket before, so it's not like it would be the first time he's done something controversial in that way with clothing.
Right.
Man, listen, I don't trust none of them.
Thank you for rounding that up for me. I love it.
Definitely did.
Okay, so the Kanye thing, I don't believe it. It's not like, I think it's like a 5% chance.
Okay,
I think
so
it's
do you think he gave them people $2 million?
I do.
I believe that.
Because I think that he's looking at an opportunity right now to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I could come out and say, listen, instead of coming out and saying I'm wrong and I'm back with the black people, I'm going to ingratiate myself with black people by just doing the right type of things. And I'm going to let it leak out that I'm doing these things so that black people are like, well, Kanye actually doing the work. And some people going to actually like hop on that and say Trump gets out of office. Then potentially people are like, oh, yeah, Kanye stopped rocking with him when he realized, I don't know, maybe, I think it's a ploy to get back in good with black people. That's
the only reason I believe, because if it was fake, Steven Jackson would have came out and said it was C.A.P. Only reason I believe. right? Stephen Jackson would have came out and said he ain't getting nobody no money. Stephen Jackson would have called his bluff on that if that was fake. That's the reason.
He still might. This pretty new. He still might come.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But I mean, so far I haven't heard it because he don't care nothing about none of that. Okay, so I want to believe about the college fund. I don't know how you could prove that or whatever. I want to believe about that for the 6-year-old girl. I mean that's he a billionaire now, so that's not much out of his pocket.
I don't think any of those things are lies though. Like, yeah. I mean, Floyd Mayweather came out and like donated a shit ton of money for George. Like I think he covered the cost of the funeral.
Him and the other guy, what you call it too. Supposed.
So I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. Like I don't think that when you got that kind of money and Kim K is already kind of like that's your wife and she's already kind of shown her willingness to help with issues that affect the black community. Mm-hmm. I don't think that that's. I think that he probably did everything they said he did. Yeah. I just don't believe the long play of playing Trump for years. That part I just
for your wife to get people out of jail.
Kanye is crazy.
Yeah, that's why I believe it.
He's like you can listen to some Kanye West songs, and a great place to listen to some Kanye West songs is on Urban Flowsaurus Radio. Now's as good a time as any to check out the good folks at Urban Flowsaurus. The big homie Moose Daniels has been supplying a steady stream of independent, underground, and exclusive R&B, hip-hop, and beyond across your airwaves. Pretty much any day of the week, you can catch Mr. Hydrate or Intoxicate on Facebook Live under Urban Flowsaurus, spinning something extra soulful or jazzy that'll either take you back to a certain time in your life or make you wonder why you never heard that track before. Go to his Linktree at Linktree/Urban Flowsaurus to find the links for the radio shows, podcasts, and live performances from Moose Harris, and be sure to follow him at Moose_Harris on Instagram and Twitter. Man, listen, there's so many ways to consume music these days, and Urban Flowsaurus produces content in every which way imaginable. So check him out. Moose Harris of Urban Flowsaurus. A different voice with a show like you've never heard before.
If you got that flow, man, you already know. Go to Urban Flow Radio. We gonna stay 10 toes down in that thing. Go to the radio and do your thing, man. Hold up, baby. Free George, R.I.P. George Floyd.
Damn, you was trying to free that man?
My bad. Been a long day.
So I've been talking about this concept, and I'm probably not gonna do it justice right now because I didn't write no notes. It's just a concept that I've been thinking about. It's the idea of capitalizing on being the good black one. So the conversation I was having last week was that how you grow up in a city like New Iberia, and we was watching the Sugartown documentary and the Victor White and everything, and it was like how you grow up in New Iberia and like, why would you ever want to stay there? Why would you ever want to live there? Blah, blah, blah. And how did you make it out of that environment? And I saw Chunky posting recently, your cousin, Los, saying, man, them boys in Shreveport, wild, blah, 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 and this and that, and people getting killed all the time, and how you make it out of that environment. And I have this thought that white folks, especially racists, let's just say racists, people who got racist beliefs, are going to look at the quote unquote good black one and that's like a form of privilege.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Kind of. Elaborate, my brother.
Hotep Los.
Just like it's easy like let's say I'm a white teacher at the school, right? And I'm prejudiced. And I hate these little monkey black children who in here doing whatever. When I find the one black kid or a few black kids who are from like families who don't allow them to cut up and kind of like they're well-mannered black kids from strong families. Why can't you be like them?
Nothing's wrong with them.
Then they get a certain type of privilege in and of itself. And I feel like there's a part of like my answer was that I was able to make it in New Iberia because I didn't get treated like every other nigga in New Iberia because like the racist people a lot of times, specifically in schools and stuff like that, looked at me like, oh, well, that's Miss So-and-so's son. So he good people.
You know what? You're not wrong when you're right about that.
I think we had a certain type of privilege that not all even our friends had. And I think it's a thing to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, you are right. I just remember moving throughout the city. You go to a rival school or different high school's game, and it might not be on your side of town. And the people at the door knew me. They knew who my father was. But I came with my friend. They wouldn't let him in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Those type of things. Like, oh no, Carl, you good. You're good. But these guys, what are you guys doing here? We can't watch the game. Yeah. Go. You gotta go on the other side. Y'all can't come on this side. Go to the other side. But we come to the white school. Bird, just to see our friend, like a couple friends who play on the team, come see them. Nah, y'all go on the other side. Carlos, you good. And I'm like, whoa. You now you said that you are definitely right. Dang.
And it ain't even because of your individual behavior. I think it's just because of it's who you know. But I mean, it also is kind of your behavior. If you like, this is a little smart black boy. We're gonna even if you hang around all black people or all white people, it really wouldn't matter. They would look at you like, okay, he's acceptable because of that. And I think it's another form of privilege that I think we don't often talk about. But I think a lot of there's a fine line between our friend circle. Like if we talk to everybody who in Team Nice, Best Friend Weekend, Inner Circle, all our people, like some of us had that privilege growing up, and some of us didn't. Of being like, oh, he one of the good black ones, so they're good. He not like one of them boys over there on the corner wilding and blah, and it's just a reputation based upon family a lot of time. I don't know, Raj, did you ever feel that sense of privilege, so to speak?
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely agree with you, and I think that even like curls over into just regular white people. I don't think I think it has a lot to do with where you came from. I also do wholeheartedly agree with you that it has a lot to do with your behavior as well. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't, they got people I don't want to be around either, not necessarily black people, not necessarily white people, just people in general. And so I guess for the sake of it, if we're looking at just races, yes, that privilege does exist. But for people that just look at the world fair for what it's worth, I don't feel bad about that. I don't feel bad about who I was as a growing up.
Raj and Al, y'all could get in. Yes.
That's how you coming? Government names?
I had already planned to blur that one out.
Wait, government names on boys, man.
But now that's very.
Neither one of those was a government name while you clown.
How about somebody's real name?
Well, here you go. Now I got to edit mode.
Oh, my bad. You don't supposed to say that. But now that's an interesting point you said there, man. Now you think about it, that has an effect too. I guess how you carry yourself. But when you're in a household, you're taught how to carry yourself, and you're expected to carry yourself a certain way. You know what I mean? I think that also helps and plays a part. In that as well. Some kids don't come up or they raise themselves. They just don't know. They don't mean no harm. They just don't know. But that's a very interesting thought. Professor.
Yeah, I heard my sisters talking about this the other day too, so I just thought it was an interesting angle to talk about the way we grew up and how it affects who we are today.
Most definitely.
Now cue up that music for Nothin NICE to say.
They say if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all.
Nothing nice to say, but Aldo NICE.
Ain't nothing nice.
Listen, bro. A lot of things have been a-changing since we started protesting over a week ago. I read a post listing all of the things that have happened, and they're really telling, and they're really dope. They basically said that within 10 days of sustained protests, Minneapolis had banned the use of chokeholds. Charges were upgraded against Officer Chauvin, and his accomplices are arrested and charged. Dallas adopted a duty to intervene rule that requires officers to stop other cops who are engaging in inappropriate use of force. New Jersey's Attorney General said that the state will update its use of force guidelines for the first time in 2 decades. In Maryland, a bipartisan work group of state lawmakers announced a police reform work group. The LA City Council introduces motions to reduce LAPD's $1.8 billion operating budget, defunding the police a little bit. MBTA in Boston agrees to stop using public buses to transport police officers to protest. Police brutality captured on cameras leads to near immediate suspensions and firings of officers in several cities, including Buffalo and Fort Lauderdale. And monuments celebrating Confederates removed in Virginia, Alabama, and other states. And streets in front of the White House was renamed Black Lives Matter Plaza. And military forces began to withdraw from D.C. It's a lot. All that is crazy. And it feels like a flashpoint in U.S. history. I'm super encouraged by all of that, but I'm crazy encouraged by this news I saw earlier today. Walmart will stop putting multicultural products in locked cases. When I read that, you know what I'm saying, they're talking about black hair care products. It's crazy that they were the only, like black people are the only one using Madam C.J. Walker's goods. And Walmart has felt the need to keep them locked up because only black people buy them. And black people steal because we thieves. Because of the color of our skin. So Walmart was wild as fuck for that. But I'm happy they've addressed it. But now it's time for a few more changes that I like to see. One, I need to see cigarillos come from behind the counter at the gas station. Because boys don't need to be judged for something that's legal in a bunch of states. Two, I need travel size male lotions at Bath and Body Works. Because that's the lotion I use. And I need some for the car. And it's probably racist on some levels because black people are the only people who wear lotion because we don't have people who are ashy. Condoms, hats, rubbers, whatever you want to call them. Why I gotta embarrass myself to ask the attendant to open the glass to grab a pack of extra large Magnum Super Fat Daddies? That's racial. That's racial too. And finally, Hennessy, Remy, and Crown need to be put on the regular shelf with all of the rest of the liquor. They legit got shit that costs way more sitting in the back aisles. But they picked the number one beverages purchased by black folks to put in the back because they think we're going to steal. Because we thieves. Because of the color of our skin. And I ain't got nothing nice to say about having to ask for liquor I need instead of just putting it on the counter. So I won't say nothing at all.
Well, I thought you was gonna use that new name we had came up with.
Oh no! So it's not that. Well, they didn't took that flick down off the videos, man. They didn't ban that that Floyd.
Oh, Floyd edition.
That Floyd.
I got the screenshot.
Glad I screen recorded that.
That was stupid. But nah, you're right, man. I saw that same thing talking about Kente and all that where they keep them locked up. I mean, listen. We on the 10, we 10 days into this thing, like you said, 10 some days in this. Man, we got the whole rest of this year left. They'll be back locked up by 2021, if not sooner.
I agree with you, Los. And one thing, the sentiment that I got from Nothin NICE to say was, damn, black stuff is expensive. Like Madam C.J. Walker. And Kente and Shea Moisture and all of that stuff, like that stuff is all expensive. And I'm thinking the alternative is Suave, like that's the alternative.
Can't put that on your head.
Herbal essences, like that type of stuff, or Hennessy and whatnot. Like the alternative is something cheaper.
That's not. That part is the one I was kind of saying at the end. I think it's kind of weird though, right? Like they be having like that old $1,000 tequila sitting
out.
I mean, you're right. I maybe that is one, but yeah.
I why can't just get hats? Why is hats in the glass? Like, man, why is condoms in the glass?
That's in Houston. It's not in the glass.
No, that's because they're extra large.
Extra Floyd. Oh, I mean,
that was not me.
Extra George.
Extra George.
XG.
Let me get that XXG. Senor, you mean Grande? No, George.
No.
Jorge.
George.
Oh.
Black lives do matter. Black lives matter.
Mas Jorge.
Dos. Black lives do matter. Black lives matter, sir. I'm with you guys.
The views. I'm sorry. The views. Yeah, we were doing. Now we went off the rails a little bit.
Sorry. It don't take them for one person to start and then you go to the left.
Yeah. We ain't got no
but
time.
But nah, man.
Yeah. Black products don't cost a bunch, I guess.
What'd you say?
Black products cost a lot. That's what Roger was saying. I guess I agree. But
I guess so. I don't know. I think they really cost. But
I just think it's real easy. I just think it's real easy to justify it not being a black issue.
They're gonna say it's the most. They're gonna say it's the most stolen thing. I bet they're gonna say that. Yeah. That it's the most stolen product.
And I mean, maybe is it? You know, I don't know.
Shit, yeah, we would never know that data, huh?
Yeah, I mean, why would you?
I don't need personally. I don't necessarily. I'm not offended if the can 2 is locked up.
I don't necessarily steal. Personally, I don't steal.
But I know for a fact if you put the cigarillos where the candy is, you gonna see your profits go way down. I can tell you that now. So like, you know, I was thinking about that one. All of the cigarettes is behind the counter. The cigarillos is the ones that's closest to the front in most cases. Well, where I live at least. True, over here too.
If them cigarillos was sitting out, Mike Brown would have been able to grab them. He wouldn't have to go behind that counter.
Well, he would buy the counter to get the ones he paid for already.
I know, but you're right. You ain't wrong when you're right. You ain't wrong when you're right. I mean,
he wouldn't be.
The liquor is the wildest one. That's the first.
I agree with you. Because
that is wild.
I'm tired of waiting for you 30 minutes.
They do that to us all the time at every place.
Yeah.
Do liquor stores really be having that issue where people be going on the shelf, on the aisles, and just stealing a bottle? I don't think so.
I've never heard of that. I've seen mostly everything, but
that's what I'm saying. Like,
going there.
I never seen nobody.
You're gonna know where to put
exactly.
it.
I'll be brutally honest with you. If I was a liquor thief, I'm gonna get what I can get.
But how?
You know what I'm saying?
What you gonna wear? Your pants too tight.
You gonna go way into the back, but they gotta be having mirrors and all kind of shit.
The fact that their Hennessy is in the back and be like, nah, them boys put their Hennessy in the back. Let's not go there. No, if I have an opportunity, like if I know where I could go or scope out a place, or if I go steal, and I become a liquor thief, then it doesn't matter what I'm stealing. Like I'm gonna grab the most opportune.
A thief is a thief. It's not like a particular thief. He's just a thief.
Now, I'm not telling y'all put the Hennessy right by the door or way in the back in the blind spot.
That might tempt
telling
me
you to be dumb.
That might tempt me to get. I'm like, hey, Al, you buy one, we gonna take one.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But even in Newberry, think about it. When you go to Super One, like all the liquor sitting right there, but then you got to go in the case to get that hen or that
you got to go to customer service.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me. And it's, you know, we need to write a petition about that. They need to get their life together. That's all I'm saying.
Free hen.
That's all I'm saying.
Free that hen. Free that hen, that rim.
2 Jaeger's just sitting out. 2 shots of Jaeger, cheeseburger, beer. Golden Schlager just sitting out.
Ain't nobody drinking it though.
Goldschlick?
Why people not?
Goldschlick?
Nah, I ain't
why people not?
Nah, somebody drank that. I was duking in gold for like a month.
Man, so I got
that had nothing to do with that liquor.
I actually one time emptied out some bottles of Tide. We had 2 bottles of Tide. I emptied out some bottles of Tide. I filled it up with that Goldschlick. Brought it to a party. Shut the party down.
Like McLovin?
Goldschlick. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Why'd you put it in Tide? I don't understand why you put it in Tide.
Oh, it is
just
like
the first thing I saw.
It was like McLovin. Stop it. Shut up. I hate him. That's exactly what. Oh, yeah, that is disgusting. That is it. Shut up. It took me a while to put it all together. That's the exact plot.
It's almost.
That's almost verbatim the plot.
I walked in the Aldo NICE's, and it was actually, I don't remember which one of y'all's classroom it was, but they had this really hard math problem on the board. Solved it with ease, you know.
Oh,
did it with goodwill. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, hold up, Raj. In this, and when this took place with the with what you put in the Goldschlag in the Tide cases, were there 2 party cops who accompanied you to the party?
This was actually in the future when police reformation sent out, you know, when it became party cops. You know?
Party cops.
That was the cops that
party
were hired
department.
to be the party cops.
Can we get the party department over here? 1717 Compton Road.
What are you doing with this girl, McLovin? Stop it. Y'all are stupid. Okay, so these are the 2 questions I gotta ask before we get out of here. Protest. C.A.P. Is it possible now?
Yeah. I think so.
Al Sharpton said it at the funeral. He said, we don't want to hear that shit no more. Get that man his job back. He said it at the funeral, like on the pulpit. Cap. You Cap. What do you think about the other Cap? No Cap.
It's not happening, man. Come on now. Them people don't care. Nah, listen. Colin Kaepernick spit in them people's face directly, and he did it again when he went to the for the trial. Them people not letting that man back in the league, man. They don't care how y'all feel. Y'all gonna stop playing? No. You gonna stop watching? No. Man, them good old boys ain't tripping on none of that stuff, man. Talk all you want. I think Al Sharpton. We don't care.
When you talk about PR lows and they talk about bad publicity from Colin Kaepernick, I think that the tide has shifted enough to where it's probably good publicity to hire Kaepernick. Like,
but see,
and I think that
they don't care about publicity.
I don't. Hey, man, I'm not worried about nobody. Listen, man, wait a while. Don't jump on me. Wait a while. What I'm saying is, if somebody picked him up, I'm not saying he's gonna start. I'm not saying he's gonna play.
Yeah.
But if somebody picked him up, they're gonna look like they're on the right side of history. It's gonna be good publicity.
But what team? What you gotta be the right team, the right owner.
You right?
Coach,
you know what's,
Pittsburgh.
What I just. So look, I think the Patriots are in the prime position, right? Like, pick him up because he could still like not win. You know what I'm saying?
Robert Kraft like Trump, but Meek Mill. I mean, he like Meek Mill too.
Yeah, but he don't like Kaepernick.
I think it's kind of crazy because I think about history books, and I remember in my history book, I don't know which one it was, but it was social studies. It was when it was social studies. So that long ago, I saw that guy, and I don't know his name. So if y'all know his name, blurt it out. The guy at the Olympics that had his fist up with the glove.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay. I don't know his name. I feel like his name is
Jesse
like Chuck
Powell
Hayes or something.
I don't know. Yeah.
Robert
I can't
Johnson,
remember.
maybe. So
I know that's my Uncle Rob.
Johnson.
Frederick Jones. So he no. I wonder how that was looked at. I wonder if that was like controversial because I don't know. I didn't live
John
there.
Carlos and Tommy Smith.
Oh, my uncle.
Tommy Smith. He was in a couple of movies.
And John Carlos, aka C.A.P.
Yeah, that was controversial back then.
Okay. So yeah, I just wonder how that was looked at, and I just wonder if in 30 years, 40 years, we're gonna see Colin Kaepernick in a social studies book. If people ever go back to school.
Yeah, but that was controversial as hell back then. I don't know.
Go back to school. I don't know. Like you said, Los, you threw out the Steelers. He threw out the Patriots. Those prime candidates. The Rooney Rule started with them. Those are prime candidates to say, yeah, I would bring Kaepernick. I know it ain't gonna be the Cowboys, but there can be a team right now, and I can see it. I'm not saying that I expect it.
I don't think Belichick would that either, though. But
I think it's the best chance of it happening now since period. I think that it's the best chance of it possibly happening. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath.
I like exactly what you said about it being like the perception has changed to where I truly believe, and I side with you, Al, that it could be good publicity, and when it was like perceived as bad publicity at one point in time.
And now if it's the Cowboys and it's Jerry Jones, do we say, oh, okay, he had that track record, but now he trying to do the right thing? You just said we got to give people the benefit.
No, you said it's good publicity. What he gonna do is
that just so you could get on the right side.
No, he gonna bring him back and then fire him for kneeling. That's what he gonna do.
Kaepernick wouldn't even sign over there. I couldn't believe it. I could not see it.
For kneeling, dog.
Guess what? You're fired.
You shouldn't have trash. breach of contract.
Get him, other nigga. Get him, your other nigga. Okay,
Mandingo.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The other thing, Drew Brees, man. We've had a week to think about it. He did his apology. Trump came back and said, you ain't got nothing to apologize for. Brees told Trump, hey, man, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm still sorry. I shouldn't have did it.
Yeah, relax. You ain't got to be naked with you.
I think the common perception is that he possibly fucked up with both groups. Not a man without a country. But nobody like him no more.
That boy in the wreck yard by himself.
What? He like you bought on American History X, man.
Yeah.
The Aryans let him go. The brothers don't want him either.
He don't know what to do.
Man, lost on that yard, man.
It's funny.
I don't know, Los. Los, I'm gonna start with you. What are your thoughts on Drew Brees a week?
I mean, he's putting the work in, man. You know, he's talking to people, trying to, you know, he called Shannon Sharp, you know, talk to him about it. You know, he's calling his teammates, he apologizing. You know, I might need to get a spray can and start spraying up some stuff somewhere. I don't know, maybe get a tattoo. Something like that. Nah, but no, I mean,
he need to have his little NFL Man of the Year on his jersey and put the fist up.
Yeah. He got to show me, man. Well, I think you should come to the practice facility with a fro or something. I don't know, man. Well, Colin Kaepernick jersey. I don't know. But, you know, I mean, with him, I never thought anything he was racist, but it was just something stupid and dumb, absolutely dumb to say. You know what I mean? Like I said, like he lives in his own little world. That's how he was taught coming up. Just like we would talk to, you know, look men in the eye when you shake his hand. You know, shake somebody's hand firm. Open the door for women. He was taught that nothing comes over the American flag coming up. And him being him in his own little bubble, looked over the fact that that's not what it's all about. You know, so if he say he's sorry, man. I'm still looking at that boy at the side eye though. He ain't got me yet.
He still get the side eye from me.
Yeah, he ain't got me yet though. But you know, I'm gonna clap for him. We throw a couple touchdowns though. You know.
Let me
Super
try
Bowl
to paint a
cancel.
picture. Let me try to paint a picture of how I feel about it. I'm not gonna say how I feel about it. What I think happened. So last week, I think we all agreed that Sean Payton was with the shits. Mm-hmm. And I think if I make a crazy statement, like I'm saying something crazy, I'm saying something that is like, you know, almost seemingly unforgivable. I think one of y'all boys calls me on the side and says, "Hey man, let me talk to you about this. Like let's seriously have a discussion." And so I think the first call that he got was from Sean Payton, and he was like, "Not only am I gonna educate you, but I'm gonna get other people to educate you, and I'm not gonna just let your teammates just bash you like that on this Zoom meeting that we're gonna have. I'm gonna put Shaq in the first one. I'm gonna put Spike Lee in the second one. I'm gonna put throughout the off season we having these Zoom meetings. I'm gonna put some people in there like some
John Carlos."
Shout out.
John Carlos and Dalvin Hayes. You know, we're gonna put them boys in the meetings so that you can understand like so people that you don't normally get to talk to, so that maybe we can try to just get you to understand, because it seems like you don't understand. And I think after that first Zoom meeting where, you know, Shaq was involved and he got to talk to his teammates and whatnot, and his teammates came away like the same teammates that was like, "F you, Drew Brees," was coming away with, you know, saying things like, I think he really, I really, like personally, I really think that he meant his apology. If and I said this, you know, earlier, if he got the approval from his teammates and the people that he called brothers, then I think I'm still mad at him, but I'm not like offing.
I mean, you're gonna definitely make your apology with somebody coming out saying "shut the fuck up" and your best wide receiver getting you. You gonna mean your apology.
What burns my Boudin about the whole situation is that like his teammates was like, "All right, Drew, we forgive you," but the rest of the league, the boys in the rest of the league that was saying stuff, but them boys ain't letting that go. They playing with that same energy, and I don't like it. I don't want them to get hurt. I want them in the Super Bowl. You know.
So my thing is, I think I agree with a lot of what you guys said. I don't think that Drew Brees was a malicious person at heart. I never did. But I do stand by what I said, that I think, like I said, I think he should have retired. I kind of still think that for football reasons and this. But I know that he can't. This is what I'm drafting. This is the storyline that Drew Brees needs to happen. He needs to win the Super Bowl this season, groom Jameis Winston to be the heir apparent, and then come out at his press conference and say, "I'm retiring," and
Black Lives Matter,
and we're signing Colin Kaepernick to be the backup, and and Drew Brees was instrumental in bringing Colin Kaepernick to be his replacement, or some shit, some variation of that.
You asked for
that's the story. That's
son.
the ending. That's the ending. That works.
That boy won.
He's been training niggas. Listen, he's been training niggas in the field for 2 years. He had Teddy nigga for the last 2 seasons.
Teddy Nig Water.
Now he got Jameis Nixon, Watermelon Winston,
nameless Nixon.
Yasser.
Yes.
Yes, I'm from Alabama. Yes.
Show Mr. Brees. Show Mr. Brees. I carry your helmet.
That's a different type of nigga. You're right. That's two different types. I'm sorry. He couldn't corral no Kaepernick.
You can't be
got some field niggas, like, man. That's more.
What you want?
That's a house nigga. It's a difference, man. Yeah, that's all abolitionists.
Boy, have it on. Field nigga had on grow. They too hot.
Hey, man, listen, man. Look, we don't have too much else for y'all, man. Appreciate y'all kicking it with us this week. So, we about to get the hell up out of here. Until next time, man. Listen, hey, if you're not already on it, Men Secure. Live reaction. Season finale of Insecure this Sunday. Be there on YouTube. Be ready for the ones and the twos, man. Hey. Until next time, y'all have a great weekend. Make it the best friend weekend. And we out.
Might give him some medicine, y'all.